Buenos dias. We're at the 2 minute mark, 7:02 a.m. in the morning, or 5 o'clock where you are in India. Buenos dias. Wake up, wake up. You already know. Omni Cosmic in the house. Love you so natural. Buenos dias. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I got something else that I looked up that I want to read to you before I get into the Bible. Thank you. Okay. So I was doing some research yesterday with the limited time I had. This is the book of Thomas. A lot of people said it was removed from the Bible. A lot of people said it wasn't even placed into the scriptures of the or into the I think they call them canonical text. What happened to my voice? What do you mean? Nothing happened to my voice. My voice is fine. It's just the weather out here is cold, hot outside, cold inside, It's just, and I'm not using any type of adjustments like ACs, air conditioners, or fans. I'm just adjusting to the weather. So I have to do that because all those things won't be available all the time, but I will. Nothing happened to my voice. I'm just using my chest voice. You know how to do that? Thank you. Like, share, subscribe. All right. So here's the book of Thomas. This the book of Thomas is considered Gnostic. So that's why either they didn't put it in the Bible because it's a different way of thinking from what they want you to believe that's in the Bible. That's why they didn't add it. Or a lot of people say they removed it, like the book of Enoch. When I was a kid, exactly. That's a good question. Yeah. Things you begin to learn when you start to do research. But remember, there's always a stopping point. Don't go down that rabbit hole because it's not going to do you anything but turn you into a rabbit. All right. Let me read you the book of Thomas. So here's what people in general say throughout history, right? This is what they were told. This is what they're repeating. So such as the Gospel of Thomas. Yeah. Or the infancy Gospel of Thomas was never actually removed from the Bible. Instead, these writings were never officially accepted into the biblical canon by early church leaders during the formulation of the New Testament in the first new centuries. Early church councils of Carthage in 397 AD established the accepted 27-book New Testament text like Gospel of Thomas were excluded from the several core reasons. Doctrinal inconsistencies. So the people who are saying that this was removed from the Bible, this is the reason they're saying it was removed. But some other people say it was never part of the Bible. It was written. They thought about it. It was like, nah, we don't want them knowing this. That's what it seems like to me. But anyway. So one of the reasons it was doctrinal inconsistency. These texts often lean heavily into Gnosticism. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Easy. It's very easy. But I'll look it up for you. Maybe we'll discuss it next week. That's cool. Which episode? Let me write that down. Because if I don't, I'm going to forget. All right, so do Gnosticism with a G. And it's also an ism. When I first saw that word, I used to think it says, it's, in my young mind, there it is, written in cursive. You know what that is? Gnosticism. It starts with a G. I would say Gnosticism or Gnosticism, but it's G is silent. Doesn't even need to be there. But then again, that's how they comes. So basically, Gnosticism, which emphasized secret knowledge of salvation, for frequently contradicted the orthodox teachings of Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection. Just the crucifixion and resurrection, but not the teachings. Jesus Christ studied Gnosticism and a lot of other stuff when he was gone, supposedly until he was 33. All that stuff. He was in India, Africa, went to all them places to study. Brought back the truth. And they got him. Just like they do everybody. When you bring back the truth, they get you. That's exactly what they did to him. Oh, you want to tell the people the truth? Anyway, let me continue. So late authorship, scholars and early leaders determined these texts were written much later than the canonical Gospels. Let's look that up. Why don't we? This is going to take a little longer, but that's okay. Canonical Gospels. I'll research that a little bit more. So basically, the canonical Gospels are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and were often falsely attributed to the Apostle Thomas to gain legitimacy. Lack of apostolic authority. Giving somebody an authority to be abused. What is that? Apostolic? Let's see what that's all about. This misspelled that. Authority. I'm gonna ask you a question. This is off the book, but do you guys spell like that anymore? No, I don't think you guys were taught that. I think you guys just use keyboards. That's okay. To be included into the canon books, generally had to be written by an apostle or a close associate of one. With that being said, all these unknown authors were apostles, because that's what it's saying right here. That's my understanding, that these unknown authors are apostles, supposedly, from what I'm reading here. All right, so that's the book of Thomas. So basically, in that book, I read some of it, is in order for you to not come back, you have to be one, universo, universos, one verse, like a song. So you have yin and yang, man and woman, negative, positive. Those two things. If you can encapsulate those things and observe them instead of reacting to them, then you ain't gonna come back. But that's on you. That's your contract. It's not nothing I'm saying. It's just what I know from what I've read, from what I've practiced, from what I've seen, from what I've experienced. Let's get into it. So let's do. I just find it hilarious when people go to church, right? And then they come out and they blame everything on the devil. And then they go to church and they ask Jesus Christ for forgiveness. The devil made me do it. The devil is take responsibility. How about that? And if you don't, you can always go to church and repent and then do it all over again. The definition of insanity or being crazy is what? Doing something and doing the same thing and expecting a different result every time. You ain't get it yet. It's okay. Everything done in the dark comes to light. So when you're going to need help from these folks that you go and give your money to and they don't help you, well, thankful Thursday morning affirmation. Here we go. All right. So starting your day with intention is a powerful way to shift your perspective and invite more goodness into your day. This is a grounding affirmation. And again, I've always talked about micro affirmations on a daily basis. You ready? This is the affirmation. Today, I choose to see the abundance that surrounds me. I am grateful for the breath in my lungs, the opportunities ahead, the strength within me. I release the pressure to be perfect and embrace the joy of being present. My heart is open, my mind is clear, and I am ready to receive blessings this day has to offer. All this is internal work, right? So just because, in life, either you run into a mistake or you run into a lesson or it's a lesson, everything's a lesson, right? It doesn't make you less of a spiritual person, right? Because you're living in this, this damnation, right? This world. And so you have to adjust to being in the world. That's the whole lesson, right? Is to adjust, to learn, to come out of here with something. What's the purpose of that? I'm dead. Yeah, you are. Your body's dead, but your spirit and soul is not, or your memory at that point, because that's what you carry with you. So basically, the hard drive is still there, but the jewel case is destroyed and the motherboard is gone. But all those bits and bytes still remain. So in order for you to carry a great experience, then you must make yourself a great experience here. Balance. Balance is what it's all about. It's difficult to balance with all this chaos around you, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, in your family, in your friends, in your social media, all that stuff, gaining all of the power of your thought and your process and the way you see things. You're not going to have a chance. You're just going to come back. And it's going to be 10 times worse, probably 1,000 times worse. And then if you ever get to the end of your days in whatever way that might be, and you're able to have the opportunity to become spiritually aligned, then that's going to bring you somewhere. If you don't, because basically what I'm looking at this world turning into is exactly what it is, a predatory plane. But right now they're trying to control that, trying to make you think it's not, but it's apparent. Wake up, wake up. Make your own matrix. And remember, when you do that, it's like a light attracts, insects. So when you're there, believe me, interruptions and distractions will come a dime a dozen. Align yourself to be able to recognize the foolishness in life. I mean, have fun, right? Love your soul, not your role. You already know. If you're sure, try repeating these while you have a coffee. Okay, so for energy, I am fueled by gratitude and ready for a productive day. Wake up in the morning before you hit that floor. You got to clean your mind and your thought and give it. Say, this is your day. I'm going to take the rest. Right? So you're up, you're breathing, you're alive. That's one thing to be grateful for. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. So this one's for peace. I trade my worries for wonder and my stress for stillness. It's pretty difficult to accomplish just that, right? I trade my worries for wonder. I wonder. Maybe you can use that term. I wonder what's going on. I wonder why this. I wonder why that. Instead of being, oh my gosh, and stressed out for stillness. Stress not there yet. I do meditate. I did it this morning, early this morning. And it's just heavy in the air. The like the EMFs, man, they're just packing always like a microwave. You feel it. Whew. I never felt none of this stuff when I was a kid. Physically, I felt it internally, but not physically. It's like burning up from the inside out. This is for growth. I am thankful for the lessons of the week and the progress I am making. A connection. I appreciate the people in my life who support and inspire me. Appreciate you. Okay. Let's do today's quote of the day. Oh, here's a cool one. This is nice. This is by David Steindl. I'll figure out who he is. Dash Rast. It is not joy that makes us grateful. It is gratitude that makes us joyful. I'm going to say it again. I like that quote. Thankful Thursday. Wake up, wake up. Where's it again? Oh, it is not joy that makes us grateful. It is gratitude that makes us joyful. It is not joy that makes us grateful. It is gratitude that makes us joyful. So people get that backwards, you think? But it's a good quote. I can live with that. Might change it though. That's all right. Oops. Okay. And here's the poem for the day. You ready? The Morning Bridge is the title of the poem. I like to tell everybody that I use the Morning Bridge. I use Gemini AI to help me align these things, format, editing, suggestions, things of that nature. But this is definitely something I wrote in one of my books. I got them around here somewhere, but it's online right now. So the silver light of Thursday breaks as the quiet sleeping world awakes. Not quite the end, but well on our way. The breath of grace for this brand new day. I'm thankful for the coffee's steam. For the lingering hope of a morning dream. Did I dream this morning? Probably not. For the strength that carried me through the week and the gentle words I've yet to speak. The weekend whispers not far out of sight. The weekend, but I'll dwell right here in the morning light. With a heart wide open and a spirit free. Grateful for all that is meant to be. There you go. That's today's poem. Hope you liked it. And if you didn't, send me one so I can read it for you. Okay, that was nice. All right, so let's get into it. So we're going to go into the Bible now. That took me like 20 minutes to do all that, only because I did some different things today, right? Read the book of Thomas, which I hear the Sefer has a lot of this stuff in it. I'm not sure. I don't know if you guys know what that is. I think it's basically, I don't even know what it is, but a friend of mine has it. So he said, get this book. So I'm going to get it. But I'm going to do symbology before that. So it's $100. Get on my way. That's what it looks like. It's $100. So I'm sure I can go online and get a list of the chapters, which I'm going to do. But I think the book of Enoch is in there. Maybe the book of Thomas, I'm not sure. But Yeah, something else that's going to help you out and figure this entire spell out so you can get out of it. Okay. So we're going to ask for discernment. Please give us discernment for these words that we're going to read today. As above, so below, as within, so without. All right, let's see if we can understand what we're reading. Here we go. We're on Saul rescues the city of Jabesh. And as usual, I go here in the morning. I don't know if you can see that somewhere here. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. That's Matthew 5:5. Cool. You know, the meek people, when they hear, they go, yeah, I'm meek. I'm going to inherit the earth. What's so proud about being meek? I don't know. But I guess that's something to be okay about. You want to inherit this place? I want to know. Do you want to inherit this place? Nah, not me. You can keep it. So as every day I go, this is U version. I click here. Here's the Bible. That's the one I'm reading. Right up here in the corner, it tells you which version. And here they have a bunch of different versions, bunch of different perspectives, bunch of different truths, a bunch of different lies. So a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them. Look, the ASV, the AMPC, the books, BSB, CEB, CEV. Take your choice. Pick your choice. ESV, FBV, Good News Bible, British Good News Bible, Good News Bible, Good News Translation, God's Word, NIV. So I'm reading this because it was given to me. First of all, this was given to me. Thank you, Scott. And it has notes. See the notes? That's what's important about this. Even though it's been convoluted and changed many, 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 many times, it's there. Read it. But don't just read this book. There's other books that dissect this book. And then there's other books that dissect the book that dissected this book. It goes on and on and on. All right, here we go. So we're on Saul rescues the city of Jabesh. It's chapter 11. Let me know if you hear it.
1 Samuel chapter 11. Nahash the Ammonite went up and besieged Jabesh Gilead. And all the men of Jabesh said to him, make a treaty with us, and we will be subject to you. But Nahash the Ammonite replied, I will make a treaty with you only on the condition that I gouge out the right eye of every one of you, and so bring disgrace on all.
I'm sorry. You see? What did I say? This guy just said, hey, what's up? Hi. Buenos dias. Welcome to Love Your Soul, Not Your Role. Like, share, subscribe. So he just started reading. Listen to what this guy just said. He said, but Nahash, the Ammonite, replied, reading the Bible. What are you doing? Where are you? Are you in America or are you in a different country? And what time is it there? It's 7:26 a.m. here, Eastern Standard Time. This guy says to him, I will make a treaty with you only on the condition that I gouge out the right eye of every one of you, and so bring disgrace on all Israel. 2:21. Okay. All right. That's like 5 hours or something like that. Wow. Right there. Why does he want to gouge the right eye of every Israelite? Let's see what he says.
Israel. The elders of Jabesh said to him, "Give us 7 days so that we can send messengers throughout Israel. If no one comes to rescue us, we will surrender to you." When the messengers came to Gibeah of Saul and reported these terms to the people, they all wept aloud. Just then, Saul was returning from the fields behind his oxen, and he asked, "What is wrong with everyone? Why are they weeping?" Then they repeated to him what the men of Jabesh had said. When Saul heard their words, the Spirit of God came powerfully upon him.
Come on. I just want to say this, right? And this is my perspective from what I've been reading, and we've been reading it together. I got videos on my YouTube channel about all. We read all these books live. There are videos. You are? I thought we were human first. But good for you, Mr. Muslim. That's cool. Be what you want. Right? Or no? Anyway. So for me, right, this book, the Old Testament, depicts how wicked the Israelites were and how they needed to be controlled by anybody, any king, any country. They would just, and they're still around doing the same thing. Like, why is this happening? Why is it like you let everybody? That's why people don't read the Bible. That's why they don't let you read the Bible. They compartmentalize information. So they say, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. Pay me money, and then I'll talk to someone for you about it. It's just borderline insanely funny. Yeah, that's cool. Belief is nice. I like belief is a good inspirational tool to have in your life. That's cool, right? Because there was at one point where I believed I was a great basketball player, and I was, right? As a kid. You know what affirmed that to me was when I used to watch these guys play, and that was like, these guys are amazing. And I would mimic their moves and capitalize it. You know what they told me? You got skills, fam. And I was a kid, and these guys were like 30. I was like 16, 17. But I stopped playing basketball. Stopped watching basketball. So that's what I'm getting out of this whole book. Is that these people were tremendously wicked. I don't work off belief, my friend. I apologize for that. Maybe I don't work off belief. I study the Bible. I study other books. I look at, what I've learned, and what I've learned doesn't work off of belief. It's written down. It's on paper. Somebody wrote it, of course. Truth is in the eye of the beholder, right? Just like they say, beauty. Indoctrination is a deep thing. It's been going on. It's deep. It's so deep that you can talk to someone who claims you got his. You mean that? This? Is this what you're talking about? Or do you have another book you can recommend? Because I read this. I read it. But thank you anyway. I appreciate you. But I read it. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, so that's what I'm getting out of this. This is why they compartmentalize the information in your in your church. They build lessons so that you can follow them. They don't build lessons so that you can learn, so that you can practice on your own. They don't do that. That's not what they want. Bye. Have a good day. That's not what they want. Because if you become spiritually independent, then they lose. They lose your donations. They lose your fear. Because this is what they're doing. Fear this. So that's what I'm getting out of the Old Testament, is that these people were extremely wicked. They, even to their God, they were kicked out of 100 and some countries, 93, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm speechless right now, but anyway.
And he burned with anger. He took a pair of oxen, cut them into pieces, and sent the pieces by messengers throughout Israel, proclaiming, "This is what will be done to the oxen of anyone who does not follow Saul and Samuel." Then the terror of...
See? Fear.
the Lord fell on the people, and they came out together as one. When Saul mustered them at Bezek, the men of Israel numbered 300,000, and those of Judah 30,000. They told the messengers who had come, "Say to the men of Jabesh Gilead, by the time the sun is hot tomorrow, you will be rescued." When the messengers went and reported this to the men of Jabesh, they were elated. They said to the Ammonites, "Tomorrow we will surrender to you, and you can do to us whatever you like." The next day, Saul separated his men into 3 divisions. During the last watch of the night, they broke into the camp of the Ammonites and slaughtered them until the heat of the day. Those who survived were scattered, so that no 2 of them were left together. The people then said to Samuel, "Who was it that asked, 'Shall Saul reign over us?' Turn these men over to us, so that we may put them to death." But Saul said, "No one will be put to death today, for this day the Lord has rescued Israel." Then Samuel said to the people, "Come, let us go to Gilgal, and there renew the kingship." So all the people went to Gilgal, and made Saul king in the presence of the Lord. There they sacrificed fellowship offerings before the Lord, and Saul and all the Israelites held a great celebration.
If you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, or watch Lord of the Rings, watch the entire series. I think there's 4 movies, maybe more. Just watch it. Don't be entertained by it. Just turn the music down. And if you can kind of imagine what we're reading here, and what transpires in this movie, right? Because ain't nobody trying to be in a classroom for 8 hours, 7 hours trying to learn something that we don't have anything to do with, and it doesn't have anything to do with our growth, just to entrap our minds. But check this out. This is 12. Let's see if we can do 12. I'm not sure if that's possible. Yeah, it might be. Let's do it.
1 Samuel chapter 12. Samuel said to all Israel, "I have listened to everything you said to me, and have set a king over you. Now you have a king as your leader. As for me, I am old and grey, and my sons are here with you. I have been your leader from my youth until this day. Here I stand. Testify against me in the presence of the Lord and his anointed. Whose ox have I taken? Whose donkey have I taken? Whom have I cheated? Whom have I oppressed? From whose hand have I accepted a bribe to make me shut my eyes? If I have done any of these things, I will make it right." "You have not cheated or oppressed us," they replied. "You have not taken anything from anyone's hand." Samuel said to them, "The Lord is witness against you, and also his anointed is witness this day, that you have not found anything in my hand." "He is witness," they said. Then Samuel said to the people, "It is the Lord who appointed Moses and Aaron, and brought your ancestors up out of Egypt. Now then, stand here, because I'm going to confront you."
And this is a repeated theme as well in this Old Testament, is that every time there's a disconnect or a blatant disrespect for this God, he always mentions the fact that I brought you out of Egypt always. He's been saying in this book, said it many a times. Um, so it seems like these folks are always in conflict because they want to do these things, but yet they want to have a God that says that we can do these things because he says so. So they're always in conflict. They're in conflict today. They're always in conflict. Wonder why? Wonder why these folks are always in conflict with everyone else. Well,
with evidence before the Lord as to all the righteous acts performed by the Lord for you and your ancestors. After Jacob entered Egypt, they cried to the Lord for help. And the Lord sent Moses and Aaron, who brought your ancestors out of Egypt and settled them in this place. But they forgot the Lord their God.
they forgot.
So he sold them into the hands of Sisera, the commander of the army of Hazor, and into the hands of the Philistines and the king of Moab, who fought against them. They cried out to the Lord and said, "We have sinned. We have forsaken the Lord and served the Baals and the Ashtoreths. But now deliver us from the hands of our enemies, and we will serve you." Then the Lord sent
That's another recurring theme in the Old Testament, is that they do things and then they apologize and then he forgives them all the time. He's mad at them. He doesn't. When they ask for forgiveness, he does it again and again and again. So it seems like the belief is that they do things. If they repent, they're okay. They're still going to continue to do these things that he's asking them not to. All they got to do is ask for him to forgive them and he will. But kill everybody else.
Balak, Jephthah, and Samuel, and he delivered you from the hands of your enemies all around you, so that you lived in safety. But when you saw that Nahash, king of the Ammonites, was moving against you, you said to me, "No, we want a king to rule over us, even though the Lord your God was your king. Now, here is the king you have chosen, the one you asked for. See, the Lord has set a king over you. If you fear the Lord and serve and obey him and do not rebel against his commands, and if both you and the king who reigns over you follow the Lord your God, good. But if you do not obey the Lord, and if you rebel against his commands, his hand will be against you as it was against your ancestors. Now then, stand still and see this great thing the Lord is about to do before your eyes. Is not wheat harvest now? I will call on the Lord to send thunder and rain, and you will realize what an evil thing you did in the eyes of the Lord when you asked for a king. Then Samuel called on the Lord, and that same day the Lord sent thunder and rain. So all the people stood in awe of the Lord and of Samuel. The people all said to Samuel, "Pray to the Lord your God for your servants, so that we will not die. For we have added to all our other sins the evil of asking for a king." "Do not be afraid," Samuel replied. "You have done all this evil. Yet do not turn away from the Lord, but serve the Lord with all your heart. Do not turn away after useless idols. They can do you no good, nor can they rescue you, because they are useless. For the sake of his great name, the Lord will not reject his people, because the Lord was pleased to make you his own. As for me, far be it from me that I should sin against the Lord by failing to pray for you. And I will teach you the way that is good and right. But be sure to fear the Lord and serve him faithfully with all your heart. Consider what great things he has done for you. Yet, if you persist in doing evil, both you and your king will perish.
All right, that's enough torture for today. We're on 13. A lot of good information. I mean, is it good to know? Is it going to help you grow? Is it going to help you get where you want to go? Or is it putting you in a space of peace and understanding? You don't read the Old Testament in your new churches, Judaism, Christians. You guys don't read the Old Testament. They're never going to let you read the Old Testament. So you better get a copy because they're going to get rid of it. Like I said, this world is predatory, man. There's nothing peaceful about this place. You will never have peace here, ever. Peace is in silence. You can't even have that. They don't want you to have silence. That's why they're making all these machines that make noise, that frequencies that you can, but it does affect you in every way. There was a book and a video I read and saw about scientists using light to manipulate rats to do certain things using light. I think I put the video in my it's in there somewhere in my YouTube library. I got the inclination to review that, to research that, because I was reading a book. Let me see. I'll show you a book you're reading that made me think about researching that. This book right here. This book by Bruce Frederick Skinner. That's the author. They got this down to a science. Look what it says right there. Teaching machines. And look at the machines that they use to teach. Light. Electric. Hot, brighter, stronger filament, red color temperature. Both the color and the amount of light depend on the emitting filament on bar. So these are the things that they used. Part of a program in high school physics, right? The machine presents one item at a time. So they'll look at it. And here's an image of how they do that. There's a lot of other images. So this book interested me in that information about how they use certain elements, sound, light. And guess what light you're using? Your cell phone. It's in your face all the time. Light. You do have the option to turn the bright light into, say, what is that called? Let me see if I got it here anyway. I don't think anybody ever uses this feature, but so here's what I have it as. It says night light. You can turn it on. Kind of gives it a cover. Kind of distorts the blue light, but the blue light is still there. So blue light basically makes your mind believe, or puts a signal into your brain that it's like time to be up when it's not, because normally people do that scrolling stuff and that phone in their face at nighttime when they're supposed to be sleeping, disturbing all kinds of messages and incoming information from the universe that's you're supposed to be getting, but you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, the first thing you begin to do is scroll. Tell me if that's not light control. Anyway, love your soul, not your role. You already know. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Wake up, wake up. Happy Thankful Thursday.